A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu. Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything.
This is a very special episode of Ask Iliza Anything for a couple of reasons. One, I am doing this remotely. I am not in our studio in Los Angeles. Scott is not here. I had to order special mics because I was out of town for so long. And I was about to be like, you know what, we should want to have a podcast. And lo and behold, my best friend, Michelle Friedman.
I showed up.
Out of nowhere, she's like, I'm coming to New York. And I was like, perfect. It's time to pod. That's when I ordered the microphones. And I figured, wouldn't it be fun to talk to my best friend? Because she's been there literally through almost everything. So I don't know if it can literally be almost, but literally through almost everything. We've known each other since we were 3, had a gap there where we didn't know each other. Here we have Michelle Lee DiGiulio Friedman, lead goal scorer of the 99-2000 lacrosse team season.
Thank you, Iliza.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to be here.
Now, before we start, you guys should know that I'm a little sick, but also Michelle doesn't do social media. She doesn't do entertainment. I asked her just now if she watched Succession, and she was like, yes, no, wait, the business one? And I go, the main character, Kendall? She goes, the girl? I'm like, okay, you don't watch it. Michelle does not have social media. What do you do for a living?
I'm a little bit behind in pop culture. So I work for the city of Austin, and I manage our social service programs in the areas of...
Y'all are going to hear honks. It's Brooklyn. I can't help it if it's in the background. Go
I
on.
manage social service funding in the areas of race and health equity, homelessness, access to basic services for individuals living below the poverty line, and marginalized folks.
And you speak how many languages?
4.
What's the fourth
4
one?
Languages.
What's the 4th one? No,
Hebrew.
you don't. No, you don't.
Okay. English, Spanish, French.
Just say English. It's sociopath.
I know.
Just say English. Everyone knows English.
Well, yeah.
You speak.
Okay, and then I've taken so many classes in Portuguese, and I've worked in Portuguese, so I kind of count that. So on my resume, I would say 4, but in practice, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which for Europeans is nothing.
I don't think you should be allowed to say English. Like, that's a given. Like, everyone has to speak a language.
Yeah.
I don't.
Sign language?
Do you speak sign language?
No, but I really wish
also,
I did,
no
honestly.
one speaks sign language.
Yoga language.
Okay.
Oh my God, what if I started saying that I speak Sanskrit?
I mean, I don't know.
That would be amazing, just because I'm like in yoga teacher training and I can say like samastitahi.
I mean,
like,
I guess
I speak Sanskrit.
No one would challenge you, but
my
that would be
God.
up there with the girl that's like, I'm an Aries rising. It means so much to me.
Yeah, I don't know any of that. I don't know what you just said.
Michelle is, what do you call yourself? The smartest dumb person? No, the dumbest smart person.
Yes, the dumbest smart person you've ever met.
What did you think the expression was? Not a bull in a china shop. What did you think it was? Like a cow in a candy store?
Yes, all the time. We should have, you know what we should have done is actually listed out all of the stupid expressions that I don't remember.
Yeah, it's
This
interesting.
isn't going to be funny for people.
No, that won't be. So we're gonna cut all that out. But we're gonna get to the to the questions. First of all, ACL4 says, who would win in a fight?
Oh my God.
We talked about this at
God,
length
have
yesterday.
they seen a photo of me?
Yeah, Michelle is 80 pounds on like a heavy day.
I mean, I'm not that small, but Eliza is
Much bigger.
no. So Eliza would annihilate me, and here's why. The only way that I've ever won fights, and I have won a few, is by manipulating people, by
Have you?
pretending that I'm by pretending
that you're sleeping?
that I'm either sleeping or like I'm injured, or I'll make them laugh, or I'll do. But Eliza can see through all of that, all of it, and so I have absolutely no tricks.
I would be so upset if I had to physically hurt you.
Yeah.
I was saying yesterday, like, if it came down to it, like, I would do it, but I'd be like, I can't believe I had to kill my best friend on a dare. Like, this was horrible. This was traumatic. Spunkster, ask Eliza, what do each of you think is different about friendships, the friendships women have with each other versus the friendships men have with each other?
Oh, Eliza's going to have a lot to say about this. So if you want to hear Eliza answer this question, she'll be doing that in her next podcast.
In my next hour.
Yes.
I've always felt like our friendship is it's not a typical female friendship. We talk a lot.
Yeah, it's more like a sisterly friendship, like twin sisters in a way.
But like we would never, it's more sisterly. Like we would never call each other for fashion advice.
I've called.
You would call me.
Yeah.
I would not call you.
No.
I really believe you use different friends for different things, but I do feel like for anything I could call you and be like, I just have to vent about this one person.
Right. Because I'm always going to be there no matter what. And I also don't care about what you're necessarily doing at which stage in your life.
Yeah, she has no concept of like show business.
I mean, I love you and who you are, and vice versa. So
That's true. I think the last couple times you've come to a show, I've just come back to the green room and you've been like, yeah, I've just been here having a sandwich. I didn't watch the act.
Yeah. I've been hanging out with the people.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to let you read it because my voice is a giant toad. So read the...
Christine.
At Christine says...
Oh, yeah. What's the at for?
At is for Instagram.
Oh, I don't have Instagram.
You're not Amish. Like,
No,
you
but I
know
don't
how
have-
handles work.
No, but
Your
I mean,
wife
not
has
really.
it.
I know, but...
Okay, anyways.
Can you imagine a world in which someone does not use Instagram or Twitter or Slack chat? Slap chat?
Are you thinking of like that office interface thing, Slack chat?
Yes, but then
I don't think anyone uses that.
It's not what I
You're
was...
about Snapchat.
Snapchat is what
You're
I
like,
was thinking of,
what
but
are
I
the-
combined it with Slack.
What are the odds that another gibberish word actually is a social media platform? Gabagool?
I have Facebook, but only because of dog rescue. By the way, please rescue and adopt.
By the way, she's 100% a lesbian. Just if you didn't get that from that last.
From that last sentence, okay.
Adopt a pit mix and make it a great day.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
At Christine. Hey, Eliza and best friend.
Sorry.
Hey, Eliza and best friend. I have a question about long distance friendships. One of my best friends used to live about an hour from me until she married her husband, who's in the military, and they moved to a different state. She comes home often to visit her family or college friends, but has only come to visit me once in the entire 5 years we've been friends.
Cut her out.
And that one time was because I basically wouldn't stop pestering her about it. During that visit, we ended up hanging out with one of her college friends and not having one-on-one time. We've had a few arguments here recently, but they've all been resolved. At least that's my understanding. She's usually a pretty private person, but in the past few times I've texted her, she's very distant and doesn't want to go into detail about anything. My question is, how do I know where the line is to say maybe this friendship just needs to fade out naturally, or should I continue to reach out to her to let her know that I love her and I'm always here if she needs to talk? I know she has a lot of things going on in her personal life, but I thought we were close enough to be someone she confides in. How do I know when enough is enough? Thank you and love you all.
I love you so much. She already showed you. Like, it's over. FNUF. What do we say?
FNUF. I would say there's a little bit more to it than that, but
Cut it out.
the question really is,
Shut it down.
why are you continuing to try so much and so hard? Because I think that says more about you and what you need than it does about your friendship with her. Certainly, this is not a respectful relationship that I think is healthy to stay in. And, you can say for the time being, it doesn't sound like you're ready or available, but I'm always here and love you. But I really think you probably need to take some time to evaluate why you care so much.
I think that's Mishy F with the hot advice fire.
Yeah.
You just got so sincere.
Yeah.
I also, having been on both ends of this, I feel like I even went through this with you.
Yeah,
Remember
I was gonna say that.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, remember what?
I was screaming at you. I was on the set of Excused, and you were coming to LA, and And I guess some people, let me say this, some people are better one-on-one. Some people are group people. Michelle is a group person. I'm a one-on-one person.
I used to be a group person, more so.
Fair. But I was always like, I just want to be with Michelle. And she'd be like, well, I'm coming to LA to do these 50 things. And I like deep down, I was like, well, fuck those friends. Like, come see me. And then I was like, I just got to let that go. Otherwise, the other person's not going to want to hang out with you. I think different, and I also feel like, is there something that you did wrong and you're like atoning for it? I have a friend that like did something shitty once and like they're forever like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, it's done. You also just grow out of friendships.
Yeah.
She's married. She moved away.
I mean, I'm married. You're married. We moved away. But that having been said, when the old friendships where you grew up with them, there's a certain kind of understanding that that person will always be in your life and always be around because you share a childhood versus someone that you became friends with as an adult. You don't necessarily share, unless you were like in the military together, you don't necessarily share that like deep history. And I was going to say this, we went through a period where I was in college and super self-absorbed in my college world. And I wanted to always see everyone all the time. And as it turns out, I'm not really friends with a lot of those people anymore.
I knew it. I was like, you're not going to be friends with them in the end. I'll still be here.
I'm friends with the people in LA that I'm friends with now.
You're seeing one of them later today.
Are good friends of mine from college, but the majority of the people I'm not even friends with anymore. So I think Iliza had the like perspective to see that was just a period in my life that I needed to be selfish and doing all these things. But that was just one period. And also she called me out on it many times and I yelled back at her and we just, whatever.
I just look, it's like, let it go. If it loves you, comes back. That's the end of the story. She is clearly, whether she's selfish or she's moved on or there's just no room for you in her life and it hurts and it sucks. But think about it this way. Like, do you want to force your way into someone's life? It isn't like she's doing drugs on the side of the road and she doesn't want your help. Like, she's married, she moved away. The worst feeling is when like you have a friend that you want to connect with and they like don't want to connect and you're like, but I'm famous. You still don't want to connect with me? They're like, no, I'm good.
Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Okay, next question. Romskinable. Oh, we did this one.
Okay, yeah.
Romskinable. Romsackannable. At Roms. Thank you. You always talk about growing out of friendship.
Cannibal.
Oh,
Rose.
Rome's a cannibal. There we go. You always talk about growing out of friendships. What do you think is the reason you've remained friends throughout the years?
Mutable is a word that Iliza loves, by the way.
Love it. I always say how much I love the word mutable. I think, I don't know. Obviously, I think Michelle and I, first of all,
I'm Eliza's original fan.
Original
that
fan.
really loud.
She's the friend that always laughs at everything. And we are very similar. People say hanging out with us is like hanging out with, was it two sides of the same coin? What do they say?
Two sides of the same brain?
Something like that. You told me this one time.
Yeah.
So I think when you grow up together, you share a lot of like the same tics, the same speech patterns, things like that. And then I think the fact that we're actually at our core not so similar, like we were never attracted to the same type of guys except for Derek. We were never attracted to we don't have the same body type. We don't use the same sides of our brain. Like Michelle is great at math and languages, and I've never been in a creative arts class with her.
No.
We don't like the same kind of things. And I think in a weird way that draws out your similarities even more.
Yeah, it just makes you compatible because
There's no competition for
right,
anything.
no competition at all. And I was always in honors classes. Eliza was in rudimentary math.
Okay, take it easy.
But Eliza is extremely intuitive and understands people very well. And I will say I'm a terrible judge of character. I am. I'm a terrible judge of character. And so I can trust her when she has an opinion about something that it's sort of like, filling in your gaps or filling in your holes, but like your personality holes. Like I'm just not going to be good at certain things. And she's always going to be more introspective. And I'm always going to really have a deeper understanding in like maybe some elements of like what I do for a living and why people are homeless maybe or something like that.
Oh, that's something I strive to have a deep understanding of.
I know.
Yeah. So I think there's that. And I think there's also getting to have a conversation at breakneck speed with another woman who totally agrees with you 100% of the time. I think that's so important to just be able to call someone and like word vomit at them, even the worst things that you think about the nicest people. And the other person's like, totally, I have to go, but I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's kept you sane.
We dislike the same things. We don't have any friends in common anymore because we don't live around each other.
Except our spouses. Does that count?
What? They're not friends.
And your assistant.
Yeah, you love my assistant. You love Emily.
I love Emily, and Eliza loves Grace, my wife.
Elliot escalated quickly, says, is she gay or are we just asking about same-sex marriage for fun? And I read that and I was like, what's this guy's problem? And then I realized in the description of who was going to be the guest, I said, ask about same-sex marriage. Because in my mind, I'm like, everyone knows Michelle's gay, but I didn't, but nobody ever knows that. And I feel like for growing up, you were not.
No, and I don't really define myself as gay because that's okay.
What do I
There's
say?
not really, I'm married to a woman.
There's so many letters you can pick from after LGBTQ.
I know, but I don't feel like I fit into any of them.
Pick one.
Well, why don't you pick one for me? Because I really just
non-traditional.
Non-cis? No, wait. What's cis again?
This is your thing. You should know.
I don't know.
Cisgender is like
much more
like
your
me.
thing.
Cisgender is like me, like a
Straight? So is
woman that is attracted to men.
Okay. So does cis have to do with your sexual orientation or with your gender identity? Yeah,
I'm
I
afraid-
actually am asking at my annual review from my boss if we can get a training on this. Like if my entire unit can get a training on gender, non-binary, non-conforming.
Here's an idea. No one has to say
pronouns.
what they are ever because
Right.
it's no one's business.
No one's business.
But-
so,
for
I
the
will
sake of the
say,
podcast.
for the sake of the podcast, bisexual is the closest term that I can come to it in terms of like my sexual orientation. However,
Yeah, I guess you are a
Long
true
ter-
bisexual.
yeah, long-term relationships, I am just much closer to women than I am to men. I have a couple male friends that I'm very close to, but
But they're not hot.
at the end of the day, I just am not. I think men are kind of grody.
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry.
I think you never had, I don't think you ever had great relationships.
Yeah.
And that, I think part of that was from being too smart for your own good.
Yes.
And having the men in our lives not acknowledge that or honor that.
Yeah.
So I think it gives you a bad taste in your mouth from the get-go.
Right.
And you have a single mom, so you already look at women in like a place of power. I know what everybody's thinking right now. Not only have we never kissed, the idea of
God.
seeing the other one naked is so repugnant and upsetting.
Not really, because we see each other naked all the time in the shower.
Yeah,
like,
but we're not like, oh no. Like I would look at another one, like at another girlfriend's body, and I'd be like, "You've got great boobs."
oh my God, never.
I would not say that about your boobs. No, I would. I would just never look at your body in like with a male gaze.
Right, like it's like a sisterly thing. I remember when you were getting married and the day of the wedding and I was taking a shower and the door was open, obviously, and you and your mom were just like coming in and out and it was just like the most natural thing.
For women, it's okay. One of my favorite things ever. I had a boyfriend. We were in like our early 20s and I had this apartment and Michelle was visiting and Michelle, he was coming home like from whatever and Michelle was like, check this out. And she got fully naked and put on red high heels and red lipstick, fully naked, and was holding a red glass of wine. And my boyfriend knocked on the door and she opened it and she was like, welcome home. And he was so upset. He closed his eyes. He was like, why? Why are you guys doing this? And then he referred to us as the creep twins.
Creep twins, poor Adam.
Poor Adam.
Most genuine man ever.
Yeah, it was very sweet. But I also
true.
think because you have like, you're very thin
Yeah.
and small breasts,
It's not there. Not much is there.
not much is there. You almost can do that. If I did it, it would be different.
Right.
I'm not saying it better or anything, but it would just be different. And I,
Totally.
in that moment, envied you so much that you had the comedic freedom to do that.
Yeah. Wow.
And I didn't talk to you for like 5 minutes. No, but I thought that was really because
It was
Michelle's
for the
like
joke.
Because there's also something where you're like, I'm not attracted to this person, so I can do something like this.
Right.
You-
and I trusted him. I mean, he was a good person and I thought it would be hilarious.
So why not scare him?
Right. Why not terrify the shit out of him?
I mean, it was just more like he was trying to be honorable, and you were like, "Look at my body." And you have a beautiful body, so it's not like she has like a goat body or anything like that. KHWRG8. How did y'all handle growing into adults together? Like my best friend and I met in college, so we lived together for years, and now she's married. I'm in grad school. We're trying to figure out how to be adults together.
Ooh, let's think of an example of when we had to be adults together.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay, go ahead.
tiny baby.
Tiny. Oh, okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. It's in the
Okay.
book.
It's in the
Tiny
book.
baby. Is this okay, tiny baby? Go ahead.
So I had a really terrifying dream that Iliza kept that baby.
The baby that I aborted.
Yes, and it was
God.
15.
Some women have to live that dream in certain states.
And yes, including Texas. And I think it's because right now I'm managing our access to abortion funding. And so it's been on my mind. But okay. So Iliza came to visit me at college in Boston our senior year for New Year's Eve. And
I was out of college. I graduated early because I
we
remember
all
I
drove
wasn't in
down
college.
to New York City together. And during
We discovered it in Boston.
yeah.
Okay.
We discovered it in Boston.
You have to tell people they don't know.
Okay.
I was visiting Michelle's house in Boston or wherever you lived, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm pregnant."
And you know how we figured it out is because you walked into our freezing cold Boston house and there was a fish on the third floor of the house and you like
It went to the room.
and you said it smells like fish.
To be fair, I could do that right now.
Well, you have a very strong sense of smell,
Yeah.
but this was uncanny. I mean,
Right.
this was very weird. And so I just kind of knew right away. And I think you knew too. And then we asked my girlfriend at the time to pick up a to pick up a
Pregnancy
test. We did it. It was positive. Anyway, that was something we had to deal with, but we dealt with it in a really childish
took turns
way.
in the best way we could. Not punching me in the stomach, but we were like, what's the best way? You're 19 years old.
We were in
We were chugging beer.
disgusting bathroom in Manhattan at this point.
So we left. Yeah, we left. We were going. But here's the thing. I was like, I'm pregnant. Well, we still got to go to this sick New Year's Eve party in New York. So we drove a couple hours to New York.
and
it
picked up
was-
a bunch of alcohol on the way. And then
It was one of those combo like KFC Pizza Hut restaurants.
oh yeah,
It was a KFC bathroom in Midtown.
I feel like it was in Chinatown. But,
I think you're right.
And we put. Oh my God, there was an extra toilet in the toilet. We have a video of this.
On the grainy Nokia. The point is, there's a picture that I have somewhere where like it was all this graffiti on the bathroom. So we took out a Sharpie and we added like Michelle and Iliza, whatever the year was, like 2004, like New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Michelle, Iliza, and then I wrote and baby.
Tiny baby.
Which I know is like brutal, and people are like, life is so sacred, but I am extremely pro-choice, so you can fight me on this.
The only choice at the time. And I'm so grateful that you could make that choice.
Yes.
And that guy just had to just be sad that you didn't have his baby.
He wanted me to keep it, and I was like, are you fucking kidding? I didn't move to Los Angeles to have some Hicks baby. Like, I'm good.
He paid the money, right?
No, he wouldn't.
Oh.
My mom, I put this in my book. My mom gave me $600. Thank God.
Thank God.
I had that. Yeah.
$600.
That's it.
My
Doesn't
God.
cost it either. Well, I don't know if you're saying that's a lot or
That's
not that much.
that's more than I think
It's
would
a whole
cost.
process. Like
Yeah.
you go in, they give you a drip. Someone has to come get you.
Thank God it was in California that you didn't get all that misinformation. Like in Texas now, they say that you're having counseling, but it's really all about like convincing you not to do
Oh,
that.
there was no version of me being like, maybe I don't think about that baby. I don't regret it.
No.
I don't even remember the guy's last name at this point, even though we were like hanging
So
out.
that was the,
Actually, I do remember it.
and it was,
I'm not
he was a
garbage.
twin. Anyway, so that was maybe the first adult thing we had to deal with.
That was pretty adult.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But we dealt with it in a really kind of, in a humor. Humor is kind of the way that we dealt with it.
Add a little bit of levity to it. It doesn't have to be a funeral. We both have parents that are divorced. We both worked really hard in high school. Michelle was always the friend that we both had parties,
Yes.
but like it was somehow more okay. Like your mom kind of knew and was like, I don't care. I'm going out of town.
Yeah. I was just extremely disrespectful. Way more so than you were of her property.
Yeah. Oh, of her property.
Yeah.
We did a lot of things. You know what? I know from a very young age, I think something that also bonded us, just you always thought I was funny. So we were like funny together. And then we didn't go to the same school for a while. But then in high school, you and I both knew that we kind of didn't fit.
Yeah.
And we fit in. We all had the same friends and we all went to the parties and stuff. And Michelle even dated the quarterback. But there was, I remember like junior and senior year, like we both had this thing where like we got to get out. Got to get out of here. And we started going to raves together.
Oh, God. I had a feeling we'd end up talking about this.
It's such a warm memory for me, even though you were so unsafe in almost every sense. Michelle's like a small boy and that she has no fear, like no sense of danger.
We are very, as you have said, very lucky that I'm still alive. I have really cheated death so many times, and I don't have a Me Too story, and I should.
You probably do. You just don't remember.
know
You
it,
weren't
yeah.
awake. Michelle went to Australia. I think you went a couple times, but like backpacked across Australia. Tell the story of the
By
bald
myself.
man. Of the bald man. The man in the van where you did your laundry and he went down on you.
Oh, my God. I haven't thought about that in forever.
I think about it all the time.
What
Tell
did
it.
he say again?
It was like you needed a ride.
Oh, my God. I needed a place to stay.
Which is
And-
also insane. Like you had the money to like
No,
have a
I
hostel.
basically was just like, well, yeah, but I was trying to live on the edge or at least minimalistically.
like all private school kids.
Yeah.
We love the option.
Right. Love the option of just living minimalistically. And so I was sleeping on beaches and I was just kind of going where I could. And this guy in Australia, I think he let me like sleep for a couple hours in his van outside Perth and then like help me do my laundry. But I had to, or
He let you go to his house and you're like, I'll just go because I just want to do my laundry. And you woke up and he was like going down on you.
yeah. And didn't he, what did he say? He said something like really gross.
Something gross, but also like of all the things as a woman to wake up, like that's probably the least aggressive. Like he wasn't having sex. He was like, oh, I just hope she enjoys this, which is horrible, horrific. And he was old and he was bald, and which is not a big deal at this age. But like when you're like 20, it's like, ew, why is that happening? And then you told me that you just grabbed a bunch of food from his kitchen and left.
And then I left like a fucking disgusting,
like a vagabond. Yeah,
like so gross. I wish I might. Maybe I should
reach
tell
out to
that
him
story
on
again.
Facebook. You should.
Yeah, just a lot of things.
And then I remember you started. I don't know if you want to say this on the podcast. Ecstasy, dealing ecstasy.
I didn't deal it. I mean, I sold a few extra tabs or whatever they were called.
I just have this memory of being in this like rundown house in South Dallas with you, and there was like a DJ, and you were like buying or selling to him, and he had a gun on the table.
Oh my God.
And do you remember this?
No, I vaguely remember.
And I just remember thinking like, what the fuck are we have lacrosse practice in the morning. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And then you disappeared at raves a couple times. Like, this guy's going to take me home. You, by the grace of God.
Some random person took me home, and he like carried a huge ass knife, and yet he just dropped me off.
And yet.
No, I mean, but anyway, done a lot of really stupid stuff and haven't gotten in trouble for it. Thank you, white privilege. But also money. I guess that's part of white privilege. But
I feel like it wasn't
humor.
any of that. I feel like it was just fucking luck.
Luck. It could have been luck.
I don't think white privilege
you're
ties
right.
into like someone deciding not to rape you.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's just luck. And maybe I'm better at judging character than I thought.
And no, definitely not.
I've noticed that, at least since I've had my babies, that I smell differently when I sweat. Maybe I'm just like getting older. I don't know, but I smell differently. And I don't love that. If I'm on set or if I'm on stage or if I'm doing anything like functioning in public and I don't want sweat stains or to be aware of my stinky, stinky pits, that's when I turn to Lumi whole body deodorant because it keeps me smelling fresh all day. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, under boobs, right ladies, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, your feet. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Well, unlike certain traditional deodorants that may try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code Iliza for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code Iliza at LumiDeodorant.com.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Andrea Zero Kyer, as you watch each other fall in love, do you remember the point where you knew they'd found the forever person? What? Do you hate that question? What is that face?
I fall in love. Ew. Okay, wait. Let me just tackle this first.
Okay, because I have something to say first. Can I go first?
Okay, fine.
You met Grace, and I think like lesbians, it's a little bit different than straight people because it's kind of like you shake hands and it's like, when can I move in? I felt like it kind of like Grace was just there.
Yeah,
for me.
We actually held
In
off
my
moving in
experience.
for about like a year, but she fit in so well that it kind of just did seem like she was there.
She was just there as your girlfriend, and I was like, hey, and I never questioned it or thought about it. By the way, like Michelle being whatever you're going to identify as, I never batted an eye. I think you want people to be more like, what? You're gay? Like you're always, we were at a wedding recently and Michelle, like our rabbi from when we were kids was there. Michelle's like, I'm going to go tell him I'm gay. I'm like, I don't think he cares.
He didn't
Like,
care.
I think you want people to be like, what?
Yeah.
No.
When I moved to Austin, it was so normal that I was like, wait a second, because I moved there from the liberal East Coast where everyone was like, you're so much cooler because you're bi or gay. And then I moved to Austin where everyone is something non-conforming. And it just was like not even a thing. It was a non-issue. And I was like, God, that sucks. Now I got to find another thing that makes me cool.
Yeah.
But I would say falling in love.
You're like, so I'm really thin now.
Falling in love is something that I think we kind of did in high school, like that deep falling in love. And then, you know, the fallout from that, which was painful, of course, because anytime you love someone and break up, it's painful. But seeing you meet Smokey Husky, I felt like it was just such a good match because you were matched personality, intellectually, and he was just patient and normal.
That's the big, he's very normal. I remember, unrelated to him, I came to visit you in Austin with another guy, and we all like went to go hang out. We were all at a bar, and you turned to me. You were like, "I really like him," and I was like, "You're never gonna see him again."
And
like,
I was
we're
like,
just hanging out.
You're like, "This is the last time you're gonna see him." I was
last time
like,
you're seeing this guy. So
oh, okay.
Get your hugs in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't. Excuse me. I've never really related to these stories where it's like my friend's dating a guy and he's all wrong for her, and I'm like, why isn't your friend listening to you? And also, like, okay, maybe he sucks, but like that's what she's chosen.
Well, I relate to that though because of the guy that didn't go to Yale.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, that was horrific.
But that wasn't.
I hated
like,
that.
We all like that came to fruition. It wasn't like from the get go. We were all like, oh, I hate this guy.
And he wasn't like beating you up.
No. It, you know, this idea that like your friend is dating like some piece of shit, and it's like, well, then your friend's an idiot. And we
Right.
all date guys that are like not great for us or whatever, but I've never had that with you where I've been like, you need to get out of this relationship.
Right. Because it was a part of learning and growing.
Also, like, I think a big
It's
part
also
of
not our place, really. Yeah.
a big part of girl friendship is your friend telling you how to treat the other. Like, you have an ex-girlfriend and you're like, if she ever says this to you, here's what you say back to her. And the answer is yes. Whatever you want me to say,
Yeah.
I will say. You want me to lie? You want me to do whatever? I will do that.
How many times have you lied for me?
Not, I guess I also just kind of like deflect. I'm like, I'm not engaging with this person. But yeah, whatever you need, that's what we'll do. You love lying. Ripster 123. Sorry if this question was already asked on a previous podcast. What was the first impression of the other, first memory of meeting?
I'm pretty sure it was in a bathtub when we were 3.
Can I tell you something? I wanted to post a picture. That's not when we met. That's insane.
That would be
Our
hilarious.
parents just brought us to a bathtub.
There's so many pictures of us taking baths
One
together.
picture. There's literally one.
There's 2.
Okay. Is that so many?
That's weird.
Okay.
We were 3 and we met at the country club.
You're making us sound like horse riding, like long jawed, like
I mean, it's the reality. We met at Brookhaven Country Club when we were 3 years old. There were 7 kids' pools and 1 adult pool, and they had a food stand. And our parents went for
None of this
some
happened.
reason because they wanted to join that we met at Brookhaven.
All right, we met at camp.
And then we went to sleepover camp.
We did. We went to a sleepaway camp together. And we both have horrible memories of it. What?
Well, it was just weird that I was 7, you were 6, and the next youngest people were 9, 8 and 9.
We were little.
So little.
And I just remember being so hungry.
So hungry and sick. And yet my mom tells the story that I came to her after school one day and I basically said, I have determined what I'm doing this summer. I'm going to sleepover camp at Camp Champions. Everyone's doing it. If I don't do it, I'm going to be the only one that doesn't do it.
But I was the only other one there.
I know. And we kept giving each other lice, which was so gross.
Definitely got lice, which I guess happens when you're like kids or whatever. Definitely couldn't get enough food. And it was one of those camps, it's Texas, so everything's
so
like
hot.
High energy, don't talk back. I just remember them making us run everywhere. And I know this is sounding more and more like an internment camp or like a fat camp. I just remember like we'd get out of the lake, which had oil in it, and they'd be like, all right, now run to go horseback riding. So you have to run, put on jeans while your skin was wet. And then run. I'm like, why the fuck are we running everywhere?
Yeah, it was hot and gross. And do you remember that they would put hydrogen peroxide or alcohol in our ears, and they would say, what flavor do you want?
Yes.
And it would be like strawberry shortcake or chocolate.
Do you remember this? This was because the lake was so gross and they wanted to make sure you didn't get an ear infection. They would do hydrogen peroxide in your ear after you swam. And I do remember that, the flavors, and it did help. People were
It
like,
helped.
I'm getting fudge sundae.
Yeah.
In my ear.
It's the power of the mind.
The power of the mind, the power of the filthy lake. Allison _ Eddie, who was the worst bridezilla? / who was the better maid of honor?
Oh.
Go on.
I was an amazing matron of honor because I did so much behind the scenes, but mostly I was like the go-between with the wedding planner and then like the friends and sort of organizing and doing all the millions of things that need to be done in terms of that. But Iliza was most definitely the best maid of honor in terms of like emotional support and being there and just being like I mean, I had like 4 people at my wedding.
She had a very small wedding at her house, and I showed up and I was like, here's how this needs to go.
25 people.
But it was at your house.
Yeah.
And I remember like, you're like, I'm just going to come out and help out. I was like, stay in the room. Like I had to explain to her, like, you need a reveal. People need to see you for the first time. I did your makeup.
Oh my God, it was so good. And my hair.
I did her hair.
So good. I
was like, someone's gotta do this.
She set up a little section where she had like, Vicky and I went to go get flowers and we came back into the hotel room and she had put all of the makeup out on a table and she had a little bottle of water and a towel.
I was like, I want you to feel like you're getting your makeup done.
It was so cute.
I also showed up to your wedding with no shoes. I didn't have any shoes and a dress I'd borrowed from the show that I was on. Cause like, I don't go to a lot of weddings.
She was like, what about this midriff black top?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Michelle was like, it's a spring wedding. So I borrowed this orange number from separation anxiety. Cause I don't go to those types of occasions. So I didn't own wedding wear, spring wedding wear. And I couldn't wear black, she said. So I got that. And I showed up. I was like, on her wedding day, I was like, I need to borrow shoes and a bracelet.
That's so true.
I didn't have any of those things.
Oh my God, it was so good. But you really helped me with my stuff. You were so helpful in like all of the DIY and all of the little pieces that kind of came together.
Little pieces.
The most amazing part about each of our weddings was that Blanche was in both.
She was elegant as ever.
Oh my gosh.
She had like a little tuxedo on because it was a lesbian wedding. So I wanted Blanche to look like a lesbian.
Oh, she was so good. And then at my wedding, my
was your
dog.
wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was at my wedding. And then during the ceremony, which was in the backyard, my dog like came out, even though she's terrified of the world. And she's a little bit smaller than Blanche. And she came over and like, you know, was like basically sniffing up at me and Grace while we're on like the altar. And then of course Blanche like moved up right next to her and just plopped her little fat body right there.
Her little fat wedding body. I felt very weird. I don't know. My new special is all about getting married and I'm having trouble. I look back on the day and I felt the day was very frustrating. If I could do it again, I would not have had any bridesmaids. I think I felt like I should, and it was like a good thing to do. My husband wanted to have groomsmen, and I was like, well, I don't want to look like a loser if I don't have anyone, but I probably would have just had you because I spent the night with you the night before. Do you remember I wrote my wedding vows on like Benadryl?
Yes.
I was puffing up, and I really wanted to wake up with you the next day and like do stuff with you, and then it all just got like chaotic, but I didn't feel like any of the bridesmaids really helped or did anything, and I just kind of felt like, I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a production and it's a whole show and you do that for a living. So it would have been nice to have something not that for your wedding.
Can I tell you something I never told anyone? The woman who planned my wedding, she hired like all these people day of and we were up on that floor. I got married in a penthouse. So we were like on a couple floors below getting ready. And she had a girl with her that was like there to like help walk me down. And I tried to take a selfie and the girl jumped into the selfie. I'm like, it's my wedding dress. And she was like, deuces. And like, thought it was so. And it's like, I get that like, you probably know I'm a comedian, but like, act like a fucking person.
It's my wedding day.
That's how I felt about everything that day. It was like, I was just tolerating other people's stupid behavior.
Which is, you know, par for the course. But it was so beautiful. Oh my God.
Thank you.
And your mom really did an amazing job with a lot of stuff.
She really did. Because
And Emily.
Emily was there. Emily should have been a bridesmaid. She didn't want that job. But it's the only time I've seen my baby girl dressed up in a beautiful dress. Loris and Dwyer says, you can read it.
At what point in your friendship, if ever, did it dawn on you that Iliza might really make a career out of her comedy? I love this question because there was never a doubt in my mind, ever. She's always just been so hilarious. And also, this is just who she is. Iliza could never not be a performer or an artist. Or a writer now that you have all these new skill sets or an actor or all of these things, you just could not do it. Iliza, we don't like to talk about the jobs that she had before she started doing comedy full time, but
Do we not?
not really. You don't like talking about it. I'll be like, do you remember Infamous Blowjob? Not
Oh,
blowjob.
oh, God.
Scratch that. That's
No.
what we called it.
Ultimate BJ Tour.
Yeah,
It was
Ultimate
a blackjack
BJ
company.
Tour.
But it was called the Ultimate Blackjack Company, but I'd always answer the phone like Ultimate BJ Company. Ultimate BJ Tour.
So good. I was working in New York in finance at the time, and we were in our early 20s, and I would call you during lunch and you would answer the phone, Ultimate BJ Tour, and I would just call just to hear you say that. You were so miserable.
Because no one ever called. Yeah, of course.
I mean, but like
I was a beautiful caged bird.
way more Iliza in a corporate job. She also was an intern at my mom's company when we were in high school with me. Eliza had a corporate job. She just can't do it. She just, like, her personality has to come out in what she does. And you're very professional in what you do, but you still have your personality involved. In the corporate sector, it doesn't really work like that. You
Right.
can't bring your personality very much into the space.
Oh, you're going to get so much hate mail to your non-existent Instagram. Like, I've got a personality and I have a corporate job. It is stifling. And I was just an assistant. But even at the time, I was like doing stand-up at night and stuff like that. I always had this fantasy in high school that like you would show up to one of my fine arts classes and we could be in that class together. We only took one class together ever.
In high school, I'm like the least artistic. I'm creative, but not artistic.
Are you?
So yeah, Iliza always was going to be a famous comedian. I will say that when she won Last Comic Standing, I was hiking in the Alps, and my mom called and left me this message, just like screaming, and I knew she had won. But I always knew way before then. That was like, honestly, that was sort of like, okay, now I have some money and I can like do some stuff, but maybe that was like a break, but it wasn't really.
Were you ever in? Because I would write like sketches in high
Yeah.
school. You were in those because I
Yeah.
remember all the girls over there, but I like have very specific memories of like a couple of other girls doing it. But I feel like Michelle's always been like, yeah, I'm here. I'm actually turns out a little weird and I'll do it, but this is not something that cries from within me.
No, I would sometimes be the camera lady. I was always just like whatever for the ride.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's that.
Wingman.
Wingman, ultimate wingman. One of my favorite memories this is in the book, but no, this is just about us getting fake IDs.
No, I know.
It was just I think you had an office job and I was working at like a diner, and we met up to drive to like Irving to this like cat pee infested storefront.
Yeah.
which was like the place to buy a fake ID.
Smelled like a combination of cat pee and cigarettes.
My adolescence is just riddled with memories of us just doing things on our own terms inappropriately, all the while knowing like this isn't going to last forever. We're
not-
out of here soon.
Not gonna work. Like that time that we stole the stoplight, put it in a shopping cart, and walked it to your house.
Yeah, that's a very suburban punk thing to do.
Well, was it just we were bored? And
My mom made us return it.
Yeah, because also she was like, "What are you gonna do with this?"
It was also, to be fair, we didn't like dismantle it. It was on the side of the road.
Yeah, but like there was anyway, and then we also did this. We decided that we were gonna steal the change in the toll booth.
No, not steal. It was there. It wasn't stealing. Okay, when you go to a toll, they don't have this anymore. They
Yeah.
don't have these anymore. I just
God.
realized that. Oh my God. Well, it used to be when you would go through, children, gather around. It used to be you go through a toll booth. It was almost like a little pelican beak. Remember? And you'd throw the money in on your way. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I can't believe this. You throw your change in and it would count it very quickly and you would go. Now there is a coin return under it that very few people know about. So if your toll was 50 cents and you for some reason threw in 75 cents, although why you didn't just keep the other quarter,
but yeah.
that quarter would get returned to you. And
sometimes people didn't make it, so it would bounce out.
yeah, or people just didn't take their change because they got to go or it's only a nickel. So we had this idea. One day we were like, we're going to go through the toll booths and take all that money that is there in the change bin.
Oh my God.
And not
So
take into an account
stupid.
that every time you go through, you have to pay the actual toll. So all in all that day, we ended up spending about $10.
Yeah, it was about $10
Made no money, and then just went and got Slurpees
and came home. Yeah.
and came home.
I mean, that's what you do in suburban Dallas, I guess, when you're bored.
Suburban Dallas, when you're bored, you're not necessarily a bad kid. You were and remain one of the worst drivers. I'm sorry. Like someone should take your license away because it's like a geriatric situation.
I want to disagree with that, and I personally disagree with that, but my foster daughter, who's 14, says that she's scared to get in the car with me.
See?
And she's
And she just met you.
Yeah. So I kind of think there's something to that.
You're a really bad driver, but I also think that there's nothing scarier when you're a teenager than ruining your car, because it's not something that you bought. You know, some people they do, or some, you know, you matched your mom dollar for dollar, but like you were the first one in our grade to get a car.
Yes.
And it was a red, was it a Cavalier?
Yes. Chevy Cavalier convertible with a white top.
With a white drop top, and it was the coolest thing ever. And it was red, which I still to this day I'm like, why? But you scratched your car, and I like anything with a car when you're a kid, like you're like, oh fuck, I'm grounded for life. And you scratched your car. And I remember we were driving down the road, and this guy just pulls up in a van, hair
good.
missing teeth, and he's like, hey, and we're like, what? He goes, I can fix that for you.
Lawrence Marino.
Lawrence Marino pulls over. We had no experience with body work or anything.
$80
This guy had his
cash.
whole family in the car. Somehow,
yeah.
I don't know how you had $80 cash.
I remember we somehow got to my house where there was $80 in a drawer in cash. I think it was mine from working at the body shop.
Where
in
we
the
also
mall.
worked together.
Yes.
So the point is, so she paid this guy to patch up the side of her car. Did he do a bang up job? Not really. But I think you then were able to lie to your mom, like, someone hit me. I have no idea. Or like
Yeah.
one of those bullshit lies. Like,
And
it
you
was
were
just
like, you've got to do this. You've got to do this.
we don't, you don't know anything about anything. And some guy's like, I can fix it. You're like, okay, this will be easy.
Yeah.
We did work at the body shop together. We had it was just the only job together, I think.
Okay. Let's do this one.
Do it.
At Noelio_fit. Have you ended up in any of Eliza's jokes, and how do you feel about it? Well, yes, obviously. I'm in her jokes, but there's one joke, the Shark Tank one.
You're not in that joke.
Put my back into it. Michelle Lee DeJulia Friedman.
That's not about you at all.
But you use my name.
I don't even say put your back into it. I say put your back against mine, and it's about how they always.
Yeah,
like,
but you use my name.
No.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I think I do.
Yeah.
I haven't watched my own special ever. There's that, and you know what? You probably don't know this. In almost every pilot I write a pilot once a year. That almost makes it. I use the name Michelle. I've used Michelle and Grace's relationship in a pilot for ABC. In the script, a script that I have now that's out there, the main character's name is Michelle. I always name them Michelle.
Aw.
They're always Michelle's.
Aw.
And they're always loosely based off you or Jody.
Yeah.
Or
We
an
have some
amalgamation.
similarities, me and Jody,
You both have kind of red hair.
and we're very fast talking.
Very fast talking. But yeah, I always use a Michelle. And I wrote a pilot for ABC a while ago, and my neighbors were this lesbian couple, and it was Grace and Michelle, and that's who it was.
Aw.
Send it to you guys to read.
Yeah.
Oh, write what you know. Written in stone. Michelle, you read it. My throat hurts.
My best friend and I recently both entered relationships, and her boyfriend hates my boyfriend. Therefore, we don't get to do any of the fun double date stuff we always wanted to do. Her boyfriend refuses to change his mind about mine, even though they've barely met, and he dislikes him for a stupid reason. The drama between our boyfriends is causing a rift between us. What should we do?
They let him fuck. Put those two dudes in a room, bottle
Slap
of
some
lube,
asses.
be like, you guys get over it.
Bottle of lube.
Bottle of lube.
She needs to really confront her boyfriend, and
It's usually the other way. It's like
Yeah.
our girlfriends don't get along.
I think that's really shitty. I would not be okay with that at all. I'd be super pissed. And I mean, when Smokey Husky and Eliza got engaged, they came to visit, and I said, you know, you're marrying me too. And he said, I know, I put all that in my decision to propose.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Yeah, no, he knew that, like, you marry the family, you marry the good friends. And so this guy, if he's causing y'all to not hang out, he's got to go.
You got to ask what's at the root of that. That's very odd. I definitely,
Get
there's a
over it.
couple that we've hung out with, and at the end of the night, like the night was fine. My husband's like, yeah, I probably wouldn't be friends with the guy otherwise, but men are great at like maintaining and just being like, yeah, I'll hang out with him, whatever. That's weird. So yeah, you got to get to the root of that. I mean, I think you already
Or
know
he
that.
just has to go.
Spanky Sunshine, big fan of the pod. I must know, has she always done the hamster voice? Small voices.
Hamster voice.
Yeah, you don't know. I don't even know. I think everybody has different versions of what they think my act is. So I don't even know what it. Nah.
Is that the hamster voice?
That's
Do you remember?
a
Do you remember Mr. Fluffkins? My first. I don't know. This is, I think, when you were in public school, when I got my first pet, which was a hamster, and his name was Mr. Fluffkins, and he actually died in the dryer.
Why was he in the dryer?
He just found his way in there.
I think I feel like that happened to my hamster, and I feel like that's actually my story
I'm pretty sure
about my hamster named
No.
Mr. Fluffkins.
No, that was that.
I think that's
No,
mine.
that's my story.
This is what happens when you've been best friends forever. Is
I
like
know.
kinda like,
I definitely have some stories that are actually yours, but that one is definitely mine. Mr. Fluffkins and Precocious. You had turtles and rocks.
I had a hamster. K Dog Lewis.
For both of you, share a moment or moments where you thought, "Yup, this is why we're friends." Oh yeah, all the time. Also, shout out to my ride or die of 21 years, Sarah. Best friends since 6th grade, 19 of 21 years being over 1,000 miles apart. And we celebrated by getting VIP tickets to your show in Santa Barbara.
That was a great show. That's when Hunter told his mudslide story. That was a fucking dope show.
You guys sound awesome. That's it.
Would love to stay in touch. For me, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's big moments. I think it's lots of little moments. And it's like little, just having your friends show up for things, whether it's I don't think you've been to a Netflix taping.
I've not gone to a Netflix taping, but I've been to so many of your stand-ups.
Been to the shows, or like knowing that if I needed Michelle, if I said to her, like, I need you to go sell t-shirts, like you would do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like not having an ego about
No ego.
helping the other one. I need you to come with me to do X, Y, and Z. For us, it's always been, here's something really shitty I need you to come do with me. Here's something not cool I need you to, here's something I need to talk about. It's the little things. If you only have the friend that shows up for the fun stuff, like that's not your friendship.
Right, and showing up for the little things because they're fun to do together.
And tolerating like 15 text messages in a row.
Right. And then tolerating also me like just not looking at my phone, which is
For
honestly annoying.
Days. Thank you.
No, it is annoying.
Can I also say that Michelle was conserving water bottles before it was cool? There was a company called Deja Blue, and they were like first to market with like water bottles or something. And you would carry around, I think because you're like inherently a little gross, this like scraggly Deja Blue water bottle and just keep refilling it. And this is before anybody thought about recycling in mass. And I was like, why are you so gross about this? She's also the girl that will get a cup of coffee, like iced coffee, and hold on to it and sip it. Like
For
throughout
days.
for days. Michelle eats like end times is coming. Like even just now, she was like, do you want to get food? I'm like, are you hungry? She's like, I'm eating. And I look down and it's the saddest, scraggliest pumpkin flax, half a muffin. She comes in my apartment. She was like, do you want to go eat? Because I brought food. I'm like, did you? Or did you bring like a sack of crumbs?
Basically, I just go to the pet store to get my food.
Oh my God, hamster food. B.S. Bushnell. Hello, three beautiful women and hot Scotty. We adopted our daughters, and I too am adopted. So I'm wondering how you and your wife are moving forward with the fostering, as in hopes of adopting in the end. Adoption's a roller coaster ride of emotions and stress, but so worth it. All the best to you and your family. That was very sweet.
So sweet. Wow.
Yeah. She called you beautiful, but she has like no idea. Oh, wait, she saw the Instagram post. Okay.
So we are a foster to adopt family, and so our intention is to build our family through foster to adopt, which people say is like so sweet and altruistic, but it also feels a little bit selfish just because we're not fostering for fostering's sake.
It's not selfish.
I know,
It's
but
really not selfish.
we're building our family that way. And that having been said, we went through fostering 3 children under the age of 4 who
If you guys
were taken away.
Yeah, I definitely posted on my Instagram how excited I was.
It was on your birthday when they were placed with us.
That's right. That's how I remember it. You got 3 kids. I was going to put out to fans, like, here's where they're registered. I know that I bought you a ton of furniture.
Like thousands of dollars, which we still use.
Good. I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, they got the babies that they wanted. These women, these 2, I'm just going to say this. Michelle and her wife in Texas, first of all, being gay is not that easy. I mean, it's like fine, but still not that cool. All they wanted was a family. And they went through the system, all the classes, all the bullshit seminars, all the safety things. Whereas I could just go and back, and I have, and like had a baby, and then you get rid of it, whatever. Yeah. You had to go through all of this, and they place you with 3 children under the age of what?
4.
Was it?
1, 2, and 4.
1, 2, and 4. And these 3 women, college educated women with lives and jobs, were like, we will put everything on fucking hold to be mothers to these children. Turn their lives upside down. I didn't speak to her for weeks because I was so mad. No, because she was so busy.
So yeah, crazy.
And then the state came and they were like, oh, turns out the grandma is here.
Yeah, a grandma of one of them.
One of them.
and the father wasn't even alive any longer, decided after 2 months that she originally only wanted the one daughter that she was related to, and then she decided, no, I want all three. And
A fact that was not disclosed to them when they took on these children.
right. Actually, they told us there's no way they're going to kin because the mom has had 7 biological children taken away from her already. And there's no one else in this family that will take these kids. So this is their last placement. It's with you guys. And then, of course, they were taken away. So now our
Well, you want to talk about a broken system. That's what it is.
oh, it's the worst. It's
It was almost instant family, minus the fact that the kids did
and
not stay.
actually,
Yeah.
my case managers, the caseworkers I work for at my organization, where we're fostered through, love instant family because whatever.
it's
And
about
so,
their
and
job.
they saw when they came to see my house to place those kids, and they saw Iliza in all of my wedding photos, which are on my wall. They were just like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" And of course, didn't really help me in any way.
Sorry.
but so
Sorry, my star power.
now we're only taking in children whose parental rights have been severed, or at least they've given them up. And so we have a really wonderful 14-year-old girl with us. And we, in March, after I'm done with yoga training, we will open up to children under 6. And so that we'll actually maybe get like a smaller one, younger one. But yeah, the goal is to eventually adopt, but without having to work with CPS. They're terrible. Yeah, I don't believe in visitation either. I think it's actually just bad for the kids. And
I believe that.
not
You're effectively raising someone else's child and checking in with them, and it's like, look, I'm going to do this my way.
checking in with them really hurts the kids, and it doesn't help anyone except for the bio family. And so,
And by the way, don't DM me. First of all, she doesn't have social media, thank God. But I don't want to hear from you like, well, I let these
probably
mothers check it. No, like you're allowed. Here's my thing in comedy. Like if you lived it, you're allowed to shit talk on it, have the experience, talk about it. So that's your real experience. And that was brutal. I wasn't even part of it. And I was so upset for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So traumatic for
it
the
was
kids,
violent.
for you.
It was violent for the children, really. And
Yeah.
they also ended up going back to a precarious placement. So
Precarious placement. How do you handle dating someone? Alice saw 121. How do you handle dating someone the same height as you? I'm trying not to be superficial, but I'm struggling with the idea that we are not the same size.
that we are the same size.
That we are the same size, sorry.
That is adorable. Is it a guy? Is the question a guy and a girl? I mean,
I feel like it's a guy thing. I feel like if it's girls, it doesn't.
you dated a guy that was small.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I liked him.
But you felt like a giant all the time.
Are you talking about Nick?
No.
Who are you talking about?
Skinny Eric?
I don't know. We're just like staring into each other's eyes right now. I'm not really much of a sizeist. I mean, I don't want to date a dude that's like 4'8", but I've definitely dated a guy that's like an inch taller than me, and like if the shoe fits, which it did.
Yeah, Grace is short, and I think it's so cute. She's short and chubby, and she's cute.
Look. If you're not attracted, you're not attracted to him. You shouldn't have to adjust. Like, even if if you're not attracted to him, that's it. Like the heart wants what it wants. You don't have to, But try not to be a dick about it. Sarah Von Paul, love these pics. Let's hear some highlights from your joint ventures to see Magic Mike.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Magic Mike would love to hear about some of your shenanigans growing up as well.
Well, I think we talked about some of the shenanigans.
Well, I
but
think we've covered the
we
shenanigans.
covered the shenanigans.
Magic Mike, it was so fucking hot. It was so awesome.
It was so much fun. I was like not like attracted to the guys. Unlike the
You already said
two
you were
girls.
bi.
I know,
Come
but
on.
I mean, I was there for the show,
Yeah, we were all there with the show.
including Hunter. Poor guy.
Oh man,
He was great.
Hunter wanted to go a little too much. And his wife came and she was all bummed out because none of the guys danced on her. But I was
But
like,
she had a wedding ring on and she was sitting next to her husband, so it kind of makes sense. It was so good.
Okay, here's the thing. A shout out to Magic Mike and to Channing Tatum and his team. And yes, I'm saying this with relish, for getting us those tickets. The show is, you wouldn't think this. It's empowering. It's fun. It's beautifully done. And it's not like dudes just sweaty grinding up on you. Like they are all very talented. And it was awesome. You know what? I honestly forgot you were there because I was screaming so loud the whole time.
Yeah, I did not forget that you were there.
You've never seen me that turned on.
No,
But that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Where?
I mean, that guy was pretty hot.
That one dude. You want to read that one? Go ahead.
Okay, it's Meg's longtime listener, first
It's
time.
_ Meg SK.
Longtime listener, first time questioner. Hi, Iliza and BFF. What are your thoughts on fostering dogs with a human toddler? Oh my God, so cute. Also, living in the home. I think it's a great idea, but I know nothing about fostering dogs and would love to hear from both of you.
Oh boy, get ready.
Toddler is 1 year old and pretty chill. We have our own house with a backyard, so there's no landlord issue. I work from home most days, so the dog would have company. Husband does not want our own dog yet, so I think providing a loving home for a pup in waiting would be a great compromise. P.S. Love the pod. Okay. This is fantastic. You should absolutely foster.
Get that dog.
Fostering is way more beneficial to the community than adopting because you can open up your home over and over and over again. So I think it's a great idea. Also, you can kind of figure what works with your family. So I would say start with a larger dog that has lived with small children and is not reactive. So if the child hits the dog, he's not going to have a big reaction. But I would also go with a very, very low energy dog, possibly a senior.
Maybe one on death's door, like one of those, like a Great Dane that has like a week to live.
No, that's depressing. And
One
you
of those
don't
dogs
want
that
your
only lives like a year.
child to be like super depressed.
Gotta learn.
But go with I love pits and pit mixes. So I would go with like a pitty because they're really fantastic with children, but it just has to be low energy, probably low medical needs in the beginning. And then just work your way up. I post my dogs that I foster on Nextdoor, and that's how I have found almost all of my adopters. So
It's
if
really
you are
cute.
living in Austin and you're looking to adopt a dog, please email me.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to give you my email. It's Friedman Michelle,
FRIEDMAN.
MICHELLE @gmail.com, and I will connect you with the best dog for your family.
It's really cute when you go to their house. They have like all these framed pictures of dogs that have passed through their hallowed halls. Question from, here we go. Stella_Heart. Can you tell us what's going on in that first picture? So the picture I posted on the Instagram on our slideshow, it's you pointing at me and me kind of doing like a little lunge at you holding flowers. I can imagine what this is.
Okay, you go first.
I think I was threatening to throw something at you on your wedding day. Well, let me ask you this. You guys did the sand ceremony.
Yes, that was awesome.
It was awesome. That's how you feel about it? It was awesome.
Because the sand didn't actually merge because we used salt. And so I said, well, at least we'll each retain a little bit of our own identity.
I remember you saying that, and it
There
was
was a
really
laugh.
smart. It was a good laugh. Okay. So you thought it was a cool
I
thing
stand
to
by
do.
it.
You think having a sand merging ceremony is like a classy way to go. Okay.
When you put it like that,
I'm just making sure.
we actually finally got rid of the sand
Oh,
last year.
thank God. It was on your altar along with nothing else, nor was there a mounted TV because they still haven't figured out how to do that. And it was just this like state fair glass with pink and blue sand. Okay. I didn't
That's
want to hurt your feelings.
hilarious. I actually don't know what's going on in that picture, but I think that I am threatening Iliza because something about her having to go find the wine glass for me to step on because my uncle was like holding it in the back corner for some reason.
Okay, so it turns out nothing interesting. Golden Graham, 1819. Iliza mentioned in a previous episode that you and your wife had I talked about you in another episode.
Yeah.
Unfortunately come up against some tough challenges in your bid to adopt a child. What hurdles have you come across, and have you found people's attitudes towards same-sex couples wanting to adopt? Love the podcast. Wednesday's my favorite day with a U. They are Canadian or British. Moving on.
Yeah, you guys are awesome fans. Being a same-sex couple in Austin is extremely easy. Being a same-sex couple in Texas is not. And
Speak on it.
so we have definitely had some challenges with getting placed with children who aren't located in our region because it's up to the CPS worker who's living outside of the region to make the final determination. So if there's a child in a more rural region, then we haven't been placed with them necessarily. But ultimately, we try and shield ourselves from that. I mean, I create a very thick shield around me of only people that subscribe to the kinds of views that I have of tolerance and understanding and liberal post whatever society that I try and ascribe to, anti-racist terminology and all that. So
So that's your answer.
my answer is that I haven't had too many hurdles in the sense of being a same-sex couple because I've shielded myself so much.
You've created your own community.
Yes, I've created my own community.
I would always get annoyed, like people, like I've had like a couple guys from high school be like, "Oh, Michelle, she's dating a woman now," and I would get very protective, like this isn't a fucking carnival trick, and this is like her sexuality and her identity, and it's not for you.
Show.
It's not for show, and it's not. No offense. It's not like this like hot lesbians for your pleasure. Like this.
Ugh,
like who
yeah.
cares?
A lot of people are like that, and I just have to ignore it. I've created my own community, and I've created a bubble around me where I don't have to deal with any of that. But that having been said,
Except for every day at work when you go and help other people who are not like you.
Absolutely, but that's more sexism. So the issue with the adopting a child, if we wanted to buy a child, I know that sounds really harsh, but essentially that is what it is. If we wanted to buy a child on the private market, we could put up a profile and spend about $30,000 purchasing an infant. Ultimately, though, that is not at all how we want to build our family. Primarily because nowadays, with supply and demand, there's more demand than supply, and so the birth mothers have a lot more say. And ultimately, you can it's open adoption. It's all of these things that are way too tricky and complicated that we've just don't want to have any part of. So we're choosing to go through the foster route. That's just what's right for us. And I'm not saying that other people that adopt it's wrong,
Well,
but
they will interpret it that way.
I know. It is true. In my opinion, it's purchasing a child, and that's not how I want to have a family. Sorry. That's how I feel.
That's okay. That's how you feel.
Yeah.
We're going to do two more. Me_N_Bobby McGee. I'm engaged to a woman whom I love very much, and as a 35-year-old woman myself, I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on pitching the whole I need a girls' night with my friends idea to my fiance, seeing as how she's a girl as well? Kind of tough conundrum. Want to go out with friends without her, while at the same time not at all wanting to hurt her feelings. Just genuinely want some me and my friends time. Thank you so much, Iliza. You're so amazing, so relatable to me and all my fellow millennials. P.S. If you ever consider incorporating Scott into one of your stand-up routines or getting him to open for you sometime, he's a pretty funny dude with his one-liners. Sorry, Scott.
Who's Scott?
He's the producer who's not here right now.
Oh. Hi, Scott.
Well, Scott, you got a fan if you ever want to start stand-up.
I love Wondery, though. Can we just throw a pitch out for Wondery?
Yeah, go ahead.
They produce your show, right?
Yes.
I love Wondery.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. First of all, I don't think it matters if you're a woman married to a woman or a dude or a plant. You are allowed to want your friend time independent of your partner.
Yeah, I actually have had this conversation with my wife and said, I really want to have friend time. Problem is that everyone fucking loves Grace. Everyone.
Not me. I'm not a fan. I've never
I
been a fan.
know. She's kidding. Everyone loves Grace. And so it's annoying sometimes. We joke about this because everyone's like, oh, well, where's Grace? Like sad that she's not there. And I'm like, she's not here because I wanted some alone time without her.
Do you think she makes you more tolerable?
I guess.
More palatable?
You certainly don't.
No, I like a concentrated dose of Michelle.
Right.
But not when you're tired. Then
Yeah,
I hate
It's
you.
the worst. But you are victim to this. You'll be like, oh, well, I just invited Grace because I figured I didn't want to leave her out.
Yeah.
Which I think is so sweet. But I think some of that is also because she's a girl and you don't want to leave her out.
And you know what it is? Because she's your wife. That's why.
Okay. Well, I'm fine to leave Smokey Husky out.
And he's fine to be left out. Yeah, I don't know. There are plenty of times where I'm like, I just want to go out with a friend, even if it's a male friend or a girlfriend, like, because it's just
Who cares?
Then they're dealing with just you versus you as an entity with another person. It's just a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Although I think when you're close enough, it's fine. I don't think hopefully you're with the kind of person that understands you just want your friend time.
And has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
But I would say something like, I really love you and this has nothing to do with you, but I think I just want a little bit of friend time. Would you mind if I just went out with my friends just to
Talk about you.
To have some me time?
Talk about you and flirt with other people.
Yeah.
Last one.
Ooh.
My best friend and I. Oh, no, it's too long.
Whoa. You might have to answer those like via blog. What is it like being friends with Iliza? Okay. I want to answer
Who
this.
said it?
At
Sophia
Minehurt. What is it like
Okay.
about being thinking about dog fostering. Not good.
You already talked about dog
I know,
fostering.
fine. Okay. What is it like being friends with Iliza? So Eliza's manager, Kara, can I say her name?
Yeah.
She said once in New York City at a show of Iliza, she looked at me and she goes, Iliza is the part of every girl's brain that's just super fucking weird, just weird. And she's that part of the brain exaggerated. And I will never
But
forget
also
that because
super relatable.
super relatable because every girl has that part of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's her on persona, like her comedian performer persona. I don't really know a world in which I wasn't friends with Iliza. She's an extremely understanding, caring, hardworking friend. The only negative I have is that she doesn't take care of herself sometimes.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's like my only negative is that I care too much. It's like one of those things.
No, but you work too hard. It's very frustrating to see someone that you care about like work their body into a tither.
And sometimes it feels for nothing. Like still can't panel on a late night show. Like sometimes you're like, what am I doing all this for?
Yeah, but she'll always want the next. I mean, she's an artist at her core, so it's like being friends with any artist. Their work is never complete. It's never like they're never 100% satisfied, even if everyone else is, because they're an artist.
Because everyone else is stupid.
Right.
No. Well, thank you so much for those very kind words. And now it's time for everyone's favorite program of any show ever. It's Top of the Cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
So I made a mistake, and in my excitement to see my best friend, I forgot to ask her top and bottom of the cob. So I had to text her. So I'm now going to read our text exchange for her top and bottom of the cob. She says, bottom of the cob, large, fully clothed mannequins who look completely real with facial features and all staring at me from window fronts inside of stores. And I said, why? And she said, the mannequins, because it's incredibly creepy and there's absolutely no reason why they need to look that real to model clothes. Why do they have full faces and hair? Everything staring at me as I'm minding my own business, walking down the street, but mostly because people should know that's not okay. Not really. How do they not know that? And I said, they should know what's not okay, that they look like people. And she said, yes, it's creepy. All over NYC, staring at passersby. And then I said, just because they're naked women? She says, no, you're not getting it. Fully clothed in a Banana Republic storefront. Creepy. And I said, oh my God, so is it that they look human? She said, oh my God, pick something else. I said, no, it's fine. And then she also says her bottom of the cob is smoking outside an airport. I don't care as much about it hurting my lungs, but although that's horrible, but the lingering on my clothes and hair, so disgusting. And I agree. My bottom of the cob is that I think I have a phone addiction. I was reading a book yesterday, and like an urge to smoke a cigarette, I felt myself just reaching over to check my phone every couple minutes. And I'm disgusted with myself. As someone who doesn't have an addictive personality, I don't like the grip that it's taken. Her top of the cob, she says Ronan Farrow's newly released book on breaking the Hollywood sexual abuse story, To Catch and Kill. She's got a low-key obsession with Ronan Farrow. And my top, not to stray too far away from socio-political topics, not washing my hair all week. You're not supposed to anyway. I love how dirty it gets. I love wearing it dirty. And then it feels even better when you clean it. It's good for your hair. Keep it dirty. Keep it sleazy.
Top of the cob.
I like bringing out the weirdness in you because you're a weird person.
Yeah.
You're very weird and quirky, even though you have this, like, you have like all these degrees and this like high-powered job. My fantasy is you and I just trapped in a room dancing like weirdos.
Mm-hmm. That would be fun for like an hour.
An hour? I was gonna say 5 minutes.
We could do that with the lights where you like dance along the lights. So,
Oh, like the
foot.
little mat thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. I also think a big part of a friendship, and I've had this with a couple friends, but you're definitely the friend for this. You know your best friends when you leave an awesome party just to go sit in a room with each other and eat snacks.
All the time.
Like, that's all I ever want to do is just ghost on an event and just go get quiet with, like, Michelle.
And eat snacks.
I love you very much.
I love you too.
Thanks for being on the
Foster
pod.
and adopt.
High Five Casino lets you play your favorite slot and live table games like blackjack with the chance to redeem for real cash prizes. High Five Casino has a giant selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games only found on High Five Casino. It's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own high five moment? Visit highfivecasino.com. That's casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.